Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to talk this news story that's making the rounds right now about exactly how much Epic Games paid for Control, a game by Remedy that wasn't getting a lot of buzz, to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store for 1 year. And as you guys probably would have thunk, it was an astronomically high number if reports are to be believed, and there's so much to dissect with this. Epic Games paid a whopping 9.49 million euros for Control exclusivity, according to the Digital Brothers. Now, if you're not aware, 9.49 million euros, I believe, translates to about $10.5 million. The math there might not be on point, but I'm sure you guys can do a Google search. It should be around that ballpark, and that is absolutely insane to me. I know that they're throwing around a lot of money, and for a game like Control, I would imagine it would be a seven-figure number. I would imagine it would be, 1.5, maybe $2 million. That would be an astronomically high amount of money to garner for making Control exclusive to the Epic Games Store for a year. Remember, we're not talking about it's an exclusive release forever. We're talking about a 1-year timed exclusivity period where the game is still being sold for $60, and hypothetically, you would think that that 88-12 split is still in effect. I don't know exactly how the terms and conditions are worked. Maybe they offer up this $10.5 million, and then they also say, hey, we're offering you up $10.5 million up front. Let's take a significantly larger portion of the revenue that we generate from the Control sales on the Epic Games Store. Whatever the case may be, even if they're taking a larger portion, there is no freaking way that they are making their money back. $10.5 million, that is obscene. It can't be a smart business investment if you just look at it from the standpoint of, oh, so many people are going to buy Control from our platform and we're going to make all that money back. No, absolutely not. If this is accurate and it is $10.5 million, Control is not generating $10.5 million of revenue on Epic Games Store. It's just not happening. And you also have to account for all of the other expenses that it goes into from selling a game. If you sell a game for $60 on EGS, it's not like they get a hard $60 right back. There's so many other factors that go into play, and $10.5 million is so crazy. So where is this all coming from? Well, a report revealed by Digital Brothers, parent company of 505 Games, the studio that published Control, reveals that the Epic Store paid 9.49 million euros for Control exclusivity. The breakdown shows the revenue from various platforms as of June 30th, 2019. The revenue from Epic shows as 9.49 million euros, and considering Control wasn't even released till then, that's likely all revenue that came from Epic. Pre-orders might account for some revenue, but considering Xbox and PS4 had pre-orders as well, but their revenue shows zero. As far as these breakdowns are concerned, consolidates the fact that pre-orders were not taken into account. If they were, it's a very, very small amount, and that 9.49 million euros still has a large amount of credibility. So let's talk about that for a little bit. $10.5 million. Wow. I would have expected $10.5 million to go to a game like Borderlands 3, because remember, it's not like they're locking out PC players from playing the game. You would think that if somebody wanted to play this game badly enough, they would just use the Epic Games Store to buy the game. Not only that, what we know is that these games are just timed exclusives. At some point, they will be coming to Steam, and what we've seen with PC games a lot is that these games really have a larger longitude in terms of generating revenue. We've seen that with a lot of games, and I think Control is one of those games that fits into that category where maybe it's not going to sell exponentially well right out of the gate, but as it goes on sale on various Steam sales, it's going to generate even more revenue. I'm not saying it's going to double or triple its revenue based on selling at a discounted price, but you get the idea. A substantial amount of revenue is going to be generated from selling at a discounted price. So when you harken back to the fact that Control was a game that I even remember heading into its release, I was like, man, there is not a lot of talk about this game. Is this game gonna sell well? 505 Games, Digital Bros, I feel like they made a genius decision. I mean, we can break down the ethics of exclusivity, but let's just talk it strictly from a business standpoint. Epic Games has FU money. The investment from Tencent, all the money that they're generating from Fortnite. Hey, if these developers are getting these obscene and absurd checks, I mean, who am I to hate on them from a business standpoint? I just don't want these games to be promoted on Steam and promoted to be coming to Steam and then turn around and be released on the Epic Games Store. But when money like this is being thrown around, $10.5 million for timed exclusivity, not even full-time exclusivity, that is absurd. Now, you also have to take into effect that there are so many other factors to consider coming from a 505 Games standpoint, because not only are you making Epic Games pay for the fact that the game is going exclusive, guys, there is a payment also that is from the standpoint of being released on the Epic Game Store is going to reduce visibility of this game from the get-go, and from the get-go, that's when the most people are talking about their game. Yes, a game can generate revenue over time, as I said, but initially, that is when the most amount of talk is going to happen. So Epic Games not only has to pay for the game being exclusive, they have to pay that they're limiting visibility, and they also have to pay for that negative connotation that goes along with the game being Epic Games Store exclusive. They have to really sweeten the pot for any game going exclusive, but it doesn't even matter that they have to sweeten the pot because they can lose a lot of money right now. This is a money-losing business right now. If you're thinking EGS is anything different, you are completely fooling yourself, but that's the case with a lot of businesses. I mean, look at a lot of the other biggest businesses around today. Look at it in Amazon. A lot of the times, you just go into this money-losing phase, but at this point, they're just throwing around so much money, and while $10.5 million does sound like a lot, and it absolutely is, you guys underestimate how much money Fortnite is generating. You underestimate how much money they're getting from Tencent and all this stuff. They're making absolutely absurd kind of money, but at some point you would think, how long are we going to be able to throw away money for a game like Control? How many copies is a game like Control going to sell on EGS? I mean, I have a copy of the game because it came bundled in with graphics cards, but how many people realistically bought Control on the Epic Game Store? I would be shocked if it's a number above 300,000, and if you're taking into account that they're keeping that 88-12 split, well, at that point, 300,000 copies where you're, say, getting $9 a pop on a copy, that generates to what, $2.7 million of revenue? That is a gigantic money loser. Now, that's not knowing the exact details, but that's just my 2 cents. That's just so crazy to me. And again, that's for a game like Control. How much are they paying for Borderlands 3? I would find that information absolutely fascinating. Now, in the case of Borderlands 3, it is a shortened exclusivity period. It's like 7 or 8 months, but still, they're probably paying substantially more for Borderlands 3 than for Control. I mean, would it be too much to say that Borderlands 3 is triple the game that Control is from a marketability standpoint and from a sales standpoint? Yeah, I don't think that's hyperbole in saying that at all. I think Borderlands 3 is going to sell very, very well, way, way more than Control, and if we're going at it from that standpoint, did Epic Games really fork out $30 million, $40 million for Borderlands 3? I mean, just throwing around numbers like that makes my head hurt, and does that mean that these smaller indie games that are just going on EGS, are they getting north of 7-figure paychecks? Are they getting $1.5 million, $2 million? Because they know, I am sure all of these publishers and developers know that there is going to be inherent backlash for going Epic Games Store exclusive. There is absolutely zero benefit to them outside of that upfront check, but is that upfront check just so massive that they're going with it anyway? And for Epic Games, from their standpoint, they just have so much money that they don't give a crap at this point. Just fascinating times for PC gaming as a whole. I know a lot of you guys aren't a fan of this, but if indie developers are getting checks like this, I mean, if they're able to support their families, if they're getting big checks where a bunch of developers are able to support their families for the long term, am I really gonna hate on that? And with a lot of these games, they're eventually gonna come to Steam anyways. So you know what? Take your checks at this point. If I want to play a game, I'll wait for it to come to Steam, or if it's a game that's big enough and if EGS becomes a compelling enough service, hey, maybe I'll buy the game on the Epic Game Store if it's a marquee enough game, if it's priced accordingly, if all of these other factors align, if it's a compelling platform at that point, I'm not going to hate on it all too much. But then I also point to a game like RDR2 possibly being exclusive. How much money do they have to throw at that? How much money did they throw at Ubisoft for pulling The Division 2 from Steam and then just having Ubisoft just sell a bunch of copies of The Division 2 on their own platform in Uplay? It's just absolutely fascinating, some of the business maneuverings that Epic Games is doing right now. I don't think all of it is logical, but hey, if they want to make an impact in PC gaming and they don't see how they could actually create a compelling service based on the components and services that they offer, yeah, exclusives are the best way to go. And hey, they're offering a lot of free games for the short term. It's really good for the consumer in that you can get free games. Yes, the fact that exclusives are being relegated to this platform kind of sucks, but in the long term, you're going to be able to play these games anyway. And for the developer, for the long term, you're getting these absolutely obscene checks from Epic Games right now. It reminds me a lot of the television industry right now. I don't know how apt of a comparison for you guys this is going to be, but for live sports right now, if you guys are following this story, television outlets are just paying out the you-know-what to acquire sports rights, and that's kind of what Epic Games is, kind of to a smaller degree. They're just paying out the you-know-what to get rights to all of these different games to make their service more compelling. So we'll see how all of that turns out. I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Really interested to hear some different viewpoints. Maybe I'm being a little bit too positive and you guys absolutely hate this, but if developers are making this kind of money and they're able to support their families again, and I'm able to play the game a year down the line, and there's a billion other games being released on all other platforms, that it's really not that big of a deal to me. Now, once they start getting games like Red Dead Redemption 2 being exclusive in these games I absolutely have to play, which are next level releases, like if a Cyberpunk 2077 was EGS exclusive, yeah, I would probably lose it. But yeah, we haven't gotten to that point. So let me know all of your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.